we're going to continue. So what I'm going to do right now is that acid fasting and the differential staining. Um, whereby it's used to show they retain primary stain even after acid alcohol. They are used to show acid fast bacterial organisms. So what I'm going to do is the acid fasting. So what I'm going to do is that we have this. So we have a staining tray, we have this, and then we have this would be the gloss paper. So we put it on this. Um, so what we are going to do next is that we are going to use a steam bath. So what I'm going to do is that this will act as a steam bath. So I'm going to put this tray aside and we're going to put it on here. So let's assume that this is the steam bath. So what the steam bath does is that it softens and wet the waxy mycolic acid. So the because the repels things, it would have to be softened to help the carbon fusion enter the cell wall. So right now I'm going to let it be in like this, yeah, be in the steam bath. So as it's in the steam bath, what I am going to do is use the carbon filter in. So we're going to put the carbon filter in here. So as you can see, carbon filter here. So the carbon filter acts as a primary stain. It stains all of whatever is on this um, you know as a reddish or pink, it penetrates the acid layer and the heat helps the stain into the cell wall. So since it acts as a primary stain, that's what will happen. So let's for the steam bath. Well, the steam bath would soften and melt the waxy mycolic acid, and that is it. The heat will help loosen and soften the wax to help the dye penetrate, and it will help the carbon fusion enter the cell. So what happens while for the continuation of my explanation? So it ensures acid fast bacteria retain the red stain. So once the dye is inside the carbon fusion like this, the waxy wall will trap it, so it would even stay red after the acid alcohol. What happens is that after it has remained on this, we remove it, right? We remove it from the steam bath and place it back into the staining tray, as you can see here. The staining tray here. So since this is not visible, I would have to place it here. So let's assume that this is the staining tray, right? And we put the staining tray here inside of it. So after we let it cool, what can be done right now is that we can move this the biblos paper off, then we put it in the biohazardous waste, and when it's done, so once the paper is removed, what we'll now do is we would put this on it. Then after we would use water. So we'll use the water bottle on it. So after we remove the paper and stuff, and we are using the staining tray right now, and we've used our water bottle on it, what we are going to do is that we are going to use the um, acid alcohol to decolorize it. It removes the carbon percent from the non-acid pastels, so it stays red. The non-acid pastels remain colorless, so and the acid pastels remain red. So the non-acid pastels become colorless. So since it's a decolorizer, we'll put it on it. Then would um, so what happens is that when we use the acid alcohol, it decolorizes the non-acid pastels, so 10 to 15 drops, so like down. Then after, but the acid pastels will still remain the red color. So what happens is that we rinse it down with the water bottle after that. So then after we place it down, so finally after we have put the slide back on the staining tray, what I'll do is that I'll pick it up and I'll use the methylene blue on it. Now the methylene blue is a counter stain. It stains the non-colorless acid fast blue. So we smell it on it, put it on it, and then we use the water bottle to we put the water bottle on it. What happens is that the acid fast cells still remain red, and the non-acid fast cells now become blue due to the methylene blue. What happens now is that after everything is done, we put the slide, right? We take it, we put it in the stab containers, and then after we put whatever water was collected in the staining tray into the stain collecting vessel. Now what happens is that before we pack it all up, we could either, before I place it in the bin, if we were not done, would have placed it in the slide box, or would have put it in the microscope from scanning to the high power to using the immersion oil to be able to view whatever was done. But since we are done with it, we would have to put it in the sharp containers, and after we put the staining tray water into the stain collecting vessel, then that will be it. So after we were done with what we did before, we can now use the germicide, use the paper towel now, and put the paper towel in the biohazardous waste. So what I'm coming to do is the endospore staining. So what I'm coming to do now is, so I take this, I've labeled it from the smear stain, so smear bacteria that we did. So after it dried out, what we now do is we put it here on the staining tray, and then we put some of the paper on it, which is the Bibelot paper. As you can see here, so the Bibelot paper here. So after, what happens is that we are going to be using the steam bath, which is here, and then we would, so the endospore staining is used to detect bacteria endospores, and the endospores are thick and have protein stuff which make them resistant to heat and chemical to they are resistant to heat, chemicals and things. So what we are going to do is that we would have to use the steam bath to soften and open the top keratin coat of the endospores to allow the green malachite to be able to penetrate. The heat will enable us to do that. So what I'll do is I'll take it from here and put it on the steam bath to soften and open the top keratin coat, and then to enable the green malachite to penetrate. So heat opens the pores up, so what we are going to do is that, so we see it here, we're going to put malachite green on. So put some drops on it, then you let it sit down. So the heat would then open the pores. So we'll let it sit in. After we've added the malachite green, we'll let it sit for 10 minutes because the heat will open up the pores so that the malachite green can penetrate into it. What happens is that I tried to put this as a staining tray, but we're gonna remove it because it's not seen well. So we put the staining tray down here, take it off gently, put it down here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, the gloss paper off, and then put it in the biohazardous waste since I'm done using it. So what would happen here is I am then going to let it sit down for some time. Then after, I would use the water bottle to rinse off the excess green malachite of it. So I'll let it rinse off the green malachite and place it down. So after I'm done letting it sit, what I'll use now is the saffron. So I'll put the saffron in here. The saffron turns the vegetative cell red, but also it provides contrast, so the green spores are easily seen. Since it provides contrast, the green spores will be easily seen with the use of the saffron. So after it's set, would finally use the water bottle on it. Would use the water bottle to pour it off. So after it is placed, after we use the water bottle on it, we place it in the staining tray, on the rack. And after, we would use the gloss paper on it. So we'll use it on it. You place it in the biohazardous waste. Then after, you can put it in your slide box. You can put it in your slide box, or you can put it in a microscope from scanning to the highest power for viewing. So after it's all done, what happens is that after maybe you put it in a slide box or you put it on the microscope from scanning to the highest power to the immersion of oil, we will then pick this up and put it in the sharp container, and then we pour the staining tray water into the stain collection vessel here. So after everything is put away, after everything has been put away, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pack all these things that we were using and put them in its respective places that it's supposed to be in the lab. them all away. Then after, what I would do is I would then I would then have to use the germicide. I would then have to use the germicide all over the table. After we are done with everything, then I would use the paper towel to disinfect the place, the table. Then after that, everything goes into the biohazardous waste, and we are done. After the glass also is then removed and it goes into the biohazardous waste, and our coat is removed, and if maybe one does not want to use it again, we just dispose it off, or